So this is my final project video log for TOK, for IB, and I didn't really know what to expect when I first started this class. It's kind of a new thing for everyone. We're the first people in our school to do it, so no one really knew what was coming. But I think we had a lot of fun projects, and we learned a lot. And the first unit that I'm going to talk about is the sense perception as a way of knowing, because I really liked that one. That was a good one. Well, I liked all of them, to be honest. They were all really great. And so, sense perception, my project that I did for this was pretty fun. It was, I did color and how that affects our, like how we see things. It also ties into the emotion unit too, but that's a whole nother unit. But for the sense perception, the color is a good one because it shows that we perceive things differently depending on which color it is, even like subconsciously, like we don't even realize we're doing it, which is pretty cool. And so it's almost exactly what you would expect, with like red being angry and blue being calm and whatnot. But yeah, it was a really fun project to do, and I learned a lot about it, or mostly enforced things that I already thought. So for perception of how does language affect the way we see things is a question, and so language kind of puts like a barrier on like what you can, how you see other cultures, because if they don't speak your language, you kind of feel distant from them, and you feel as though you can't really relate to them very well. But as soon as they speak your language, you can relate to them fine, and it just puts like a weird culture block on that doesn't really make any sense. Like you should be able to see eye to eye with any people anywhere, no matter what language they speak. And another perception question: should we trust eyewitness evidence? And that's a hard one because although the person was there, if it was like a traumatic experience or something, they can get their the things that they saw can be distorted, and also it depends on their biases. Like they could they could really like the person they're trying to vouch for, and so they would twist it, even if they didn't think they were twisting it. They might twist it, the story, if they're in court or something, to be better for that person. But yeah, so that's sense perception. Now language. I actually did a project on pigeons, which are kind of amalgams of different languages that are born out of the necessity to communicate, and so that was pretty good because uh, it was like I learned. Well, my main question was like, can a pigeon be considered a real language? And I said it could in the end because if it got different enough, but as it is right now, a lot of pigeons are kind of the same as their mother tongues. So, um, does language hide more truth than it reveals? I don't really think so, because all you have to do is like, understand what the people are saying, and then you basically understand. Like, although it does provide a culture block, like it doesn't hide any truth. Like some languages, you can't describe things as well as in other languages. Like in Arabic, there are some words that describe things extremely well, and that don't show up in English. You can't even translate because you'd have to write like a paragraph to describe what one word describes. And how many arguments turn out to be about the meaning and connotation of words? I don't think you could really argue about the meaning of a word. I mean, I guess some people could, but you just you just end up like you just look it up with all the dictionary.com and everything. You just look it up, and then I guess you could argue the like meaning that's not in the dictionary, the connotation. But then everyone's entitled to your opinion, unless someone's just a stuck-up prick. Then they're not really gonna argue with you over what you think the word means because it's your opinion. Um, Emotion as a way of knowledge. This actually tied in with my color project because I had a lot of I had what all the colors, all the emotions that the colors invoked, and it was pretty interesting. Like I said earlier, red, anger, blue, it's like calm, but actually companies use colors in order to like price or like make people sell things. Like they've done studies that shows like orange will make people want to buy things more, which is kind of weird. Like, obviously, it's not conscious. You don't say like, "Oh, that thing's orange. It's obviously better than all the other things," but apparently, subconsciously, then you do. And then, how reliable are our feelings and emotions? I think your feelings and emotions are pretty reliable, but it's how they make you see other things that makes them unreliable. Like, if you feel angry, you know you feel angry. You can be pretty reliable that you're angry. But then, if you're angry, then your whole view of the world changes, and everything becomes annoying, and everyone's incredibly annoying. And you don't want to talk to anyone, and just the way language does it. I mean, not language, emotion. So it can distort our view of reality. There's no real, your feelings and emotions are reliable, but the way it makes you see everything else, the way you see everything else while you're under the influence of those feelings and emotions isn't reliable. And that ties in with how does your mood affect the way you see things as well. So I just answered that one with the same question. Can intuition or gut feelings be trusted? I think to an extent, but sometimes like you really want to do things, but you know that it's a bad idea, and so your gut feeling is to do it just because it would be more fun or whatever. But really, if you think about it more, then it's a really stupid idea to do it, because you're just gonna get screwed over in the end if you actually think about your actions before you do them. So yeah, if you get carried away with your emotions, then you could end up doing something that you wouldn't actually want to do. So the nature of knowledge, I didn't find this unit as interesting as the rest, although it was still pretty interesting. But it had a lot to do with religion and like the way that you personally see things in the world, and so some questions about that. Is the scientific method the best way of getting to the truth? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Like when you're dealing with people and psychology and emotions, then science doesn't really do anything. Like everyone's different and everyone acts differently, so you can go about it as systematically as you want, but being able to read people and like understand their feelings and what they feel like are really important for that. And then, does religious truth lie beyond human understanding? In my opinion, religion is something that people create because of the lack of understanding. So I'd say it's a step below human understanding, because in my opinion, the reason people go to religion is because they don't. You want a reason for everything, and if you're not satisfied with not knowing why something happens, which is perfectly reasonable, then you might go to religion because it provides a reason. Like with science, we don't know why everything happens yet. We might eventually, in the very distant future, but we won't they won't in my lifetime, they won't in my great-grandson's lifetime or whatever. But religion provides something that is concrete if you truly believe in it. Or it's not concrete, it's abstract, but it provides you with evidence of why things are happening and what's going on. So, yep, there's my culminating video project for TOK, and I will see you next year.